DORK Podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the DORK Podcast with Davey. It's the DORK Podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag DORK Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Davey Hardhat. He is the king of ginger ale. Ryan, Davey, how are you?
Going to work, aren't I?
Look at this guy. Wearing a goddamn
Nothing says podcast like a visual gag, you know?
I like it. Nope. Listen, we're also on YouTube.
Well,
people can watch us on YouTube.
We were talking about how my face, I looked a little blurry, and I think it was because the overhead lights, usually I wear a hat, they're a little harsh on my face. So I found this on the bookshelf. You know, we give this out on the hockey team. You know, the hard hat who's working hard.
Yep.
You know, give that out. And look at these rascals did, right? So I gave them this.
Yep.
Because when they were building the dorm, they were doing construction. I stole one of these. They had the St. Mark's logo on it.
Oh boy.
Look what these rascals did. You ready?
What they were on the back of it.
Look at
69. Classic.
Those guys, huh?
Number 69.
Those kids and their numbers.
These hooligans. Well, I respect it. I respect it very much. You know, it's very good. Yeah, we are in the last week of the spooky season, right? The spooky season kind of came and went. There's now the big day isn't until a few days from now, but
right.
I feel like we didn't really do enough horror stuff. I kind of feel like I let everybody down.
Did you? Well, you did the horror movie of the day, and what I was going to do for spooky day, or maybe Devil's Night on the day before Halloween, what I would love to do is I have to create an X thread or a Twitter thread of the best horror novels I've read this year.
Oh yeah, because you've got some good ones. So
and they were myriad. I read a lot of horror books. I love a good horror book. So, and if we get to a pick of the pod,
yeah, sure.
At some point, I will give you another one.
I like it.
That you might actually like, and you might actually, believe it or not, you might actually read it.
I might pick it up
when I tell you what it is.
All right. Does it involve Draculas?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I'm in. I am sold on that. All right. A lot to get to, as there always is. So let's dive into this.
This week in DORK. Yeah.
Speaking of the spooky season, Agatha all along keeps plodding along. I think there is one episode. The finale is this week, I believe.
Ooh.
Are you caught up?
I am caught up.
Yeah, I'm digging the show, and so we'll do a standalone. Yeah, we'll do a standalone coming up, maybe next week. Yeah, I like that Catherine Hahn, man. She's a good witch. Because she has a good combination between like a little mysterious, it's funny. She can do funny, but then you're also like, she's not to be trifled with.
No, she does not, as the kids say, fuck around.
Nope,
as it were. Yeah,
I like a coven too. Anytime you can get a group together, have them be a coven. I like that. So Agatha is going well. Another show I'm watching on Peacock is Teacup. Did you get that a rip yet? You start?
Not yet. I've been waiting. So we're gonna do because we get the penguin, and then we get that, and then Teacup after that, and then Agatha, and then Teacup after that, perhaps.
Yeah, I think so. So Teacup, I don't want to give too much away. It started one way, and now it's going a little bit of a different way, but I'm still enjoying it. They threw a little bit of a curveball at us. The 5th episode is 50 minutes, and then it goes right back to 30. So I'm like, why are you guys doing that? But so far, it's been all 30-minute episodes, and then one random 50-minute. So I've only watched 5. I haven't seen the 6th one, and then this Thursday, 7 and 8 come out, and then it's done. So I'm like, so we can either do it next week, or we can do it after. Probably do it after Agatha. So you got give everybody 2 weeks to rip through Teacup. But there's that. Severance. We got a season 2 trailer, teaser, whatever for Severance, January 17th. This will be the moment I get Apple back. I'm gonna have to resubscribe to Apple TV Plus, and then I can go back and binge all the other stuff. Like,
or do you do it a free 7-day trial under a fake email account, and then just wait till it's over and then rip it?
Yep, that's also a possibility. I like that. maybe I do that. God damn it, this thing stopped.
I hope they don't hear this. They're not listening, are they?
No, they're not listening. They don't hear a goddamn thing we're saying. That'll be good. Also, because I gotta watch Bad Monkey. I've heard so many good things about Slow Horses, so I gotta watch all Slow Horses. There's like 4 seasons of that show.
That's crazy. Yeah,
it's crazy. All right.
Well, it's crazy how many there are. Like we're just finding out about the show now, and there's already like 4 seasons.
Yeah, people love it. People love it. Everybody said good things about it. Gary Oldman, what's not to like?
The old man.
Right, what do you think about this? David Fincher is going to make an English language Squid Game series.
Here's where my take now is on remakes and reboots. I have a simple question I'm going to ask, and even with David Fincher at the helm, this question still applies. Are you ready for this question?
Yes, I am.
Is it going to be better than the original?
Fincher makes me think there's a chance, but I don't. I mean, it was so good. That was like a 5.5 out of 6 season 1.
Then why do it?
I don't know.
If it's not going to be better or it's not going to add anything, like if you do like so you've seen let the right one in,
yes,
and then someone may like let me in, like
yes.
Why make that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why do a shot for shot remake of a movie that was like 5 years old? Like I don't understand this.
Because they think that people are just so against watching a subtitled movie or show.
If you are a person, by the way, all of us, we're out of a certain age, you start watching everything with subtitles on.
Yeah.
So, especially us, us neurodivergents need those the things to keep us paying attention. But I don't understand why you would be against watching a show with subtitles on it.
Yeah,
it's not American.
Yeah, maybe.
So you're gonna set it in America?
There's always something missing. Like I've liked some of the American movies, and sometimes I've seen them first. But like I talked about The Vanishing. There's like the Dutch version of The Vanishing, which is insane, and then they did like 5 years later an American version, which is like good, but it's different.
Yeah.
Let the Right One In, same thing. We've talked about that. There was also what's the one that they just did? Speak No Evil with James McAvoy.
Yeah.
They made that movie last year, and
Right.
it wasn't even all subtitles because they would speak English a little bit, but a lot of horror movies, I feel like specifically like Ringu. There was The Uninvited, or is also known as like The Tale of Two Sisters. Wild movie. I don't know why they do that. I feel like, are they going to do that with Parasite? Because Parasite was an incredible movie with subtitles.
Yeah, and one
English Parasite. Yeah, well, the other thing was Squid Game.
By the way, great band name. I call it
Parasite.
English Parasite.
English Parasite. That is a good name.
Yeah.
But like the thing with Squid Game is, didn't it set all kinds of records for like most watched? So it's not like people aren't watching it because there's subtitles. People are watching the shit out of it.
And it came out. It was like the right tail end of COVID too.
Yeah. I even watched the game show that they made. That was horse shit, and I watched that. I don't know. So anyway, that's weird. The fact that it's David Fincher, though, I'm like,
I'm gonna fucking watch it. Shit.
Why
didn't say I wasn't gonna watch it.
They should let Fincher finally make season 3 of Mindhunter. That's what the people really want.
That's what the people want. Netflix. That's what I assume it's going to be on Netflix, right?
I think probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Venom 3, The Last Dance in theaters. That'll be our next episode coming up. If you didn't watch it, don't worry about it. We'll still talk. Well, we did.
We'll still talk about it. Yeah, we did. So you don't have to. Yep.
Hey, Terrifier 3 has now made $50 million at the box office. It is now the highest grossing unrated movie of all time.
How about that? Good for them.
Good for them is right.
Good for them.
I am glad. Now, I've still only seen the first one. I know you watched the second one, right? Last year.
I did.
I do give them a lot of credit for, in a world where we're like, I don't think it's like really difficult to create a new horror icon like from the ground up. They've done that. Like Art the Clown, you see him in like Spirit Halloween. I've driven by people that have him in their lawn. Like he's up there, man. Like he is a modern day like Freddy, Jason, Michael, I would say.
Yeah, and again, a character like Michael Myers. So he's kind of like, take the campiness of Freddy Krueger and like the non-speaking of Michael Myers or Jason, and that's what you got. I
do think it's a horrifying look. Like I don't like clowns as it is. I think. So
did you see the second one?
Not yet.
There's a little girl version of Art the Clown who does like that same smile that he does.
I don't like that.
You'll hate it. You will hate it.
I think it's one of the more unsettling things I've seen in the last like 5 or 10 years. I think even though the movies weren't good, I think The Nun from the Conjuring universe is pretty scary. Like that is an unsettling image. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm trying to see like the actress who plays her too. Like you usually think it's like a lot of like makeup. It's not. Like
No.
she really looks like that.
Yeah, it's good casting.
It's good casting, but like again, like
that one's
how do you
scary. That
pitch
one
that?
also it's like a lot of shadows, and then you see the eyes, and then it will like lean forward, and you're like, I don't
Yeah.
want to.
But like that's her real nose. It's a little bit of contouring, but like that's her.
It's intense.
It's intense.
Yeah, I'd be terrified. I wouldn't be able to be in the same room probably as that person.
Probably. No, thank you.
That's a me
Bonnie
thing.
Aarons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for her. Good find.
Good for her. It's like the guy who Doug whatever, who's like Guillermo del Toro's guy. He like plays Ape Sapien in Hellboy. He's like that really long. He was in The Shape of Water. Like he's
the Shape of Water guy.
Yeah. Same thing. Like what a career.
Well, good question from Jason in the chat. Top 10 scariest clowns. John Wayne Gacy would be one.
Real life.
I would say Art the Clown is up there. I would say obviously Pennywise. I would say Bozo.
To a lesser extent. What do you
Bozo dubbed over.
Bozo dubbed over. The one from American Horror Story was pretty scary.
Wicked good one. Yes. I don't know. I forget if he had a name or not. Big one. He's a
Twisty.
Twisty. Good one. Dude.
Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal.
Yep. Let's see. Bart's. So I'm looking at the the Entertainment Weekly had one.
Yeah.
Scary clowns. Bart's Bed from The Simpsons. Remember he had the clown bed.
Bart's Bed's a good one. Oh, I got a good one. Doink from his heel run. There's like the mid 90s Doink the Clown as a heel.
Yeah.
Man, he was scared. Matt Bourne, rest in peace, was the or rest in peace, depending on how you feel about Matt Bourne.
Here's a really scary one. Remember the Nightmare Bicycle Doctor Clowns from Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Yes, I was scared of those.
That was pretty scary. Here's one that you might not think of. Crazy Joe Davola.
He was a clown. Yeah, Crazy Joe Davola. Yeah.
And last one I will throw to you is Captain Spaulding.
Hell yeah. Captain Spaulding is good. Good. He's kind of funny, but also when he needs to be, very scary.
He will kill you dead.
Yeah. The latest M. Night Shyamalan movie is now streaming on Max. I know it got bad reviews, but I'm going to give this a rip. Trap, starring Josh Hartnett, where he goes to a concert with his daughter, but he apparently is like a murderer, and then the cops are after him. So
wait, he's the murderer?
Yeah.
Is that the twitch? Is that the twist?
No. I mean, I don't know what the twist is. I haven't watched it yet, but that was in the trailer. That's like everyone, like he's looking around and there's like security guards and shit, and he's trying to get out of there, even though like, he went with his daughter to like some like pop concert.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with this movie. I'd rather go into it blind. I've read nothing about it.
So I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. I think I've seen most, if not all, M. Night Shyamalans. So I'll give it a go.
This is your movie version of shit. What was that show you couldn't stop watching because you were just like, I've seen them all. I gotta keep going.
Oh, Medea? What was
no, it was a show. And you're like, I've watched so much of this, like I can't stop now. Was it Riverdale?
Riverdale.
And Walking Dead, yeah.
Walking Dead. I think Pat spoiled it. He says the twist in that movie is his daughter can't act for shit. Maybe not the best. All right, Jason's saying he wasted his time on that on Saturday. Yeah, people, I can't imagine it's very good. Oh yeah, the Hell House clowns. You watched Hell House, right? You just
yeah.
I'd put those on there too.
Yeah.
Those are pretty scary. Let's see. Do you want a video game minute today?
Yeah, let's do it.
What do you got? All right.
It's time for Davey's video game minute. Even if it takes more than a minute.
Okay.
What I got. So I hate to admit it, Richard, but I picked up this week. The big drop this week is Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
You son of a bitch.
I got to tell you.
You're having a nice time.
It's fucking good. It's good.
Boy. It's got its
hooks. You know what's great is zombies is amazing. Like the zombie mode for Spooky Week. I might fuck around and stream something.
Dude, please.
You know?
Please. The people are begging for it.
Please. I don't think
stream one time for us, for Christ's sake.
I got to get all that shit back set. It's all set up and ready to go. But it's so fun and you can do it solo. And for me, it's the best way to like level up quickly. I think I went from level 1 to level 30 in like a day, just doing solo zombies.
Oh shit!
Just wave after wave of just shooting heads off.
Like it.
You know,
I like that.
but the
lot.
multiplayer is really good. The campaign looks amazing. I played like an hour of it. It's really, really good. It's kind of like a return to form for these games after some dumps or games that just like whatever. Like Warzone's fine, but really, this is the best Call of Duty I've played in years.
Okay.
So if you're in on that,
Like people
let's do it. Yeah.
I like it.
Let's do it. Yeah. Lou Diamond Phillips is one of the characters in it. Who doesn't like
Really?
Lou Diamond?
I think most people like them a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So
Good.
check that out. This is my video game minute for you. Black Ops. Blops, as we
Love
call it in this show.
Y'all ready for biz?
Topic is your time, Ryan.
What?
Well, I'm glad you asked because it's the topic of the day. Today, it is the Penguin episode 6. We are ripping through season 1. It's only an 8-episode season. Episode 6 was titled Gold Summit. And as we've mentioned before, it's all spoilers. We love the show. There's not going to be like a season wrap up. We're just doing each episode as it goes. So in 2 weeks, we'll kind of put our finishing touches on it. But we've enjoyed the hell out of it. So if you were into the Batman at all, but also I've talked to a lot of people, including Greg Hill from the morning show, who's not a comic book guy, but he loves this show because it's really not comic booky at all. It is a crime mob show, you know.
And Revo, as we call him, Matt Reeves, has done such a really good job of grounding these stories once again. Even the Nolan things got a little comic booky with the Batwing and like all that stuff. It got bombs and whatever. Like it got a little comic booky, but this is actually like it's really, really well done. And something that it's a crime drama set in Gotham, essentially.
Love it. Yeah, and right now, like, there's no superpowers. There's no, and I know Batman doesn't, but he comes across people who do. But there's none of that, at least so far. So this episode, right, basically, it gives a little like a mini time jump from the end of episode 5. So in the end of episode 5, Oz and Vic just sort of discover where they're going to be. Their new head of operations is going to be in the underground. When episode 6 starts, they already got things moving. They were able to take those 2 buckets of bliss and turn it into something big. And they got people working down there, and he's sending the product out all over the place. So they've sort of gotten like a good thing going already. But I don't know. What do you think? Like maybe a week or 2 has passed, probably at least
maybe a month.
Maybe a month.
Like at most. But it was cool. Like see Vic ripping around, and they're ripping around the tunnels down below. Yeah, which I think that's how they get everywhere, which is really cool. A really cool idea.
We see Sophia and Dr. Julian Rush. He is Sans top with his pants down. Yeah. He is sitting on a chair with his hands tied behind his back. He has scratch marks all over him. We don't know what they were up to, but I am curious like a cat.
Perhaps there was a cat involved. Yeah.
I would like to know what was going on. He seemed like it was maybe a combination of pain and pleasure.
And it seemed consensual. It didn't seem forced. I think he was one of those people who's into that kind of thing, which is, a lid for every pot, as we say, And
it's funny because that was just if you watch the version on TV, it kind of cut right there. But if you watched it on HBO Max, there was an extended scene.
God, I'm gonna freaking explode inside you. I'm gonna spill it. I'm gonna fill you up.
I'm gonna fill you up. What? I'm gonna fill you up.
Okay, just let me do this. Sorry. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna do it.
So I mean, a great, tasteful scene.
I remember that scene. It was very tastefully done. Very well done. Respectful.
What's the payoff for this guy? Because it looks, I think next episode, she like he I don't know what his deal is because like he obviously worked at Arkham. He probably has ways to torture, maybe maybe she's kind of using him for that.
But also like
wow.
like ways to like torture him and maybe get some stuff out of him. But it's funny with that MacGruber clip. What gets me every time is not the moaning or like it's when she says, "I'm going to fill you up" the first time, and he goes, "What?" Like the way he says "what," like he's just so put off by the whole thing. Like, what?
Yeah,
like it's like the dumbest thing anyone could ever say.
No, it's so good.
Yeah.
I love every single part of that when he's just like, "I want to do it. I want to do it.
I'm going to spill it." I referred to something the other day as speaking of that. I said I was excited about something and said I might come soft.
Nice.
And someone was like, "What?"
Like, it has to be pretty good, dude.
They're gonna come soft. It's that good.
What was the animal he said is gonna come like a what? Because there's like a certain animal that comes like a ton of like a big amount. He says it in the because so we're talking about Dave, and there's the scene where that happens in the music video, and he's talking to like the prop guy, and he brought so much of it. And he's like,
it's like a camel or something. Like
he says, "What the hell do you think I am?" He's like, "I'm not like a." It's like some marsupial, maybe. I'm not like a wombat. It's like some crazy fucking thing. I'll figure that out later. All right, so we get that scene with those two. That sort of sets something else. We also get a scene with Sophia and Sal. So Sal Maroni, now Sophia Gigante. They're having an unlikely team up, Ryan, and they're just kind of like cooking food together. And it's one of those things where Sal obviously lost his family. Sophia, for a very different reason, also lost her family, and they have like quite a little bond here. And obviously, it's they have a shared enemy, but it does seem like they sort of fill a gap in each other's lives right now too.
And I would with that for now. And again, they're both kind of reeling in their own way, and lonely, I would say. So this is like, again, like, it's funny to watch him treat her better than anyone else did, like her own father did. And they're supposed to hate each other, like you said. So that was kind of a cool scene.
No, I did like that. So then they're so fucking annoyed with Penguin. They don't know where he is, but they know that this product is like all around Gotham at this point. So then they're like, all right, whoever has it, we're gonna like punish them. So send a message to Oz. They find out that 3 people are hung and they're all missing their pinkies. So it's sort of like a double kind of whammy, which then leads Oz to an idea. How big of a brain play is this to just give the drugs away? Just get
to start, you gotta drive up demand, right? So that's the whole idea of free samples, is you create a market by doing that. I'm no economist, but that is a good idea.
I did watch Freddy Got Fingered, and he said you want to buy when it's really low, and then sell when it's way up high. Sell when it's way up high. It's stocks. It stocks. It's very complicated. Long distance calls.
I say Helsinki, you hear Geneva.
50 fucking million Deutschmarks, Bob. It's 50 fucking million Deutschmarks. One of the more like straight up, just intense kind of dramatic scenes in all of this is Oz and his mom and sort of that relationship. And Oz's mom is at the point where like she clearly has like good days and bad days, and she wants to die. She's just like telling him she wants to die. And also it seems like she's always kind of like, she really enjoys her time with Vic, and like Vic knows how to talk to her, and like Oz kind of doesn't. And like, so it's really strange with those two, because he's obviously looking out for his mom. His mom does seem to be the one person he cares about, but his mom's just sort of like in and out of it, and like legit wants to die. And you're like,
and I wonder if him not. So Vic is obviously the caretaker at this point, and it's fun. I wonder if Oz can't do it in front of Vic, and that's why you never see him do it.
Maybe
because there are those tender moments when they're alone, but like when Vic's there, like he
took her out of the tub.
Took her out of the tub.
Yeah, she's taking a nice bath.
Not a nice bath. She was in there for a long time.
Ice bath. Yeah, it was very cold in there.
But yeah, it's they were talking about it on like the after show too. The kid who plays Vic is like, you in those moments you forget kind of like what a piece of shit he is.
Yes. Yeah.
but
No,
he is.
I think they've done a great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's a bad guy. Hair slick
Yeah.
back, the whole thing. But he, for the most part, there's a lot of scenes. Like he has some scenes with his mom and with Vic, where you're like, I don't know. And it's funny. We got a couple of emails. People are like, they're obviously like joking around, but they're just like, don't fall for his shit. He's a bad guy. Like, don't fall for Penguin shit. Because I'm like, yeah, but he's pretty charismatic, and he's also in a world where there are so many bad people doing bad things, and like that's his whole point. Like, I thought his speech he had a few episodes back to Vic, being like, "Hey, Vic, like your dad, that should be like the American dream. It is not." He's like, "You're gonna die. You're gonna be like forgotten. It's gonna be nothing. You have a hard life and like whatever." He's like, "You got to kind of fight and claw for this." And I respect it because he's not like given. He hasn't been given shit. Like he did all this on his own.
But it's funny because it is a departure from the Oswald Cobblepot that we know, who is like grew up literally next door to Bruce Wayne, right?
Was that what it was? Yeah, I mean, there's so many different versions, but that I think was one of them.
But like he's comes from money. Is like that's that's is like the whether it was next door to Bruce Wayne or in the same neighborhood or in the same part of town, like he comes from money, and so this is kind of a cool setup to this where he doesn't.
There's a new Penguin comic that Tom King wrote. I don't know if you've read any of that. It's pretty good. It's kind of like the show in a way, like sort of like that idea, like the kind of mob boss type thing that he can do. So this is a big episode for Oh, real quick, we didn't even really talk about this. I don't think it's as strong as an episode as episode 4 or 5, but those were two incredible episodes. Those were like two of the better episodes. Hard. Those were insane. Yeah. Those were, we might talk about those in like the year-end best episode dorkies. Like those episodes were awesome. This one's good, but it's like, all right. I mean, I don't think they were going to continue to get better. That would have been kind of hard to do. But this one I think is a big Vic episode, because he has that thing where, again, he seems like such a nice guy, but he is willing to do some bad stuff. And then in this episode, push comes to shove with that guy Squid. So the dude,
speaking of Squid games, Squid's playing games.
Squid's he's not anymore. He's not playing any more games. He was shot in the throat and he is now dead. But they set it up kind of perfectly. It was kind of predictable this was going to happen because he was having problems. Vic's trying to give him the runaround. Squid's not taking it. Vic goes to Penguin, but Penguin's busy with shit. So he's like, all right, I can't bother him with this anymore. He knows about his mom, or he knows about Oz's mom. He knows where we're at. Like, I can't have this guy around, and he fucking kills him. But that also leads to a scene that, I don't know, like, unless you think Oz is faking, he seems pretty genuine. Like, he kind of hugs him, but then he says maybe like the coldest thing you could possibly say after that,
which is
like, it gets easier.
It gets easier. Meaning, like, you're going to have to do this again. So I'm glad you got this out of the way now and you did it on your own, because you're going to have to do this a lot more.
There's going to be a lot more killing. Like that's the first dude you killed. It won't be the last. So it's fucked up, but it's fucked up in a way where, like, I don't know, that's sort of the life that they're in. And he does take a moment, and he even like tells him, he's like, go home, clean up, like, get some rest. He's like, you know, like, he knows it's a big deal to Vic. He even hugs him. He like hugs him and tells him that. Now, I know it's messed up what he says, but I don't, like, they know they're not in, like, they don't have like a regular sales job. You know what I mean? Like, they're in like the underbelly selling drugs and all that shit.
This is a weird parallel, but like when we first started doing this and people actually started listening to it, and you remember clearly, I'd be like, I don't know how you fucking deal with people on Twitter. Like, I don't know how you deal with all of this stuff. It's a weird parallel, but it made me think of that. Like, you being so used to something that's so fucked up.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, to any normal person.
Yeah, wouldn't just get bombarded with like nonsense.
No. Yeah. And that's why I couldn't get my head around it, because I'm just like, I have like 200 followers on this thing and I don't really give a shit.
Stop being a dink.
You know?
Like,
I'm like, well, I just thought, I remember someone was like, well, you're famous. I'm like, I'm not famous.
No, I'm not. That's not how any of this works.
Like, that's what you have to deal with this when you're famous. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about?
I do a podcast with my friend. I'm knocking off. It's being weird.
Yeah.
So that was the Squid Game. Then you got Roxy, and she ends up, right. But then again, then you find out that Eve kind of told Roxy to do it. So Eve found out. Oh, because that's the thing. So Sophia and Sal are looking for something to get back to him, and it's funny at that point. She knows like enough about Oz, or clearly as much as Oz wanted her to know. So Sophia thinks she's like, he has two brothers who died, which is true, and then his mom's dead. At least that's what she thinks, and that's what she tells Sal. But then they find that picture of Eve, and then long story short, they kind of figure out and they go and talk to her. But Eve also is smart too, and she sets this up. She's like, rather than having more people fuck around with all my girls, just put Roxy out there. Roxy directs Sophia there. So they have like a one-on-one talk. And that's where the revelation comes out, where Eve still thinks that Sophia is the hangman. And she's like, dude, like, what are you talking about? And then she tells it, she's like, so Oz never told you that? So that's like a pretty good conversation between those. They learn a lot.
They learn a lot. And he also said, like, well, those women who you murdered mattered to me. And she goes, that wasn't me. That was my dad. And Oz knew about it.
Yes. Yeah. So she's
so
like, I'm not fucking helping this guy anymore.
So all your friends, all your friends, he let them die, essentially.
Also a good scene in this where Oz finds, I think his name is Councilman Haiti or whatever, who's like responsible for like not having the power on Crown Point, and he takes the pliers to the
needle nose.
The needle nose pliers to like the middle of your nose, and then just pulls, and then he's like,
I think my eyes started.
He's like, you're fine, it's just your fucking nose.
Yeah, but like my eyes started to water just watching that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's like needle nose pliers up the nose and just like pinching like that. Oh my god.
So funny too. It's because like the guy first shows up and he's pissed that he's like the car was parked right next to him.
Volvo,
He's like, what the fuck? And then this I feel like either had to have been ad lib or was just really well written. Was when like Oz is like letting them go and the guy's trying to squeeze into his car and he's like, you got more room than you think.
You got more room than you think. Straight back. Go straight back.
More room than you think. Like what a great little throwaway line. So yeah, that was fun. I also noticed inside Eve's house, she had I don't know what you would call it, not a chandelier, but basically like a light fixture, like that was hanging down from the ceiling, and the outline of it looked like a giant umbrella, which I thought was kind of a cool little
because he's like,
to
that's nice.
Penguin. So then Penguin, and basically the thing is, the title of the episode is Gold Summit. Penguin's able to get all of the people of power in the gang world not associated with the Falcones, Gigantes, or Maronis, and he meets up with them, throws them all a beer, and gives like a great speech, gives like a legit speech about like how nobody gives these guys the respect. These guys worked hard for everything, but like if we keep fighting each other, we have no chance. So like we need to team up. So it's got the Triad is there, the family called like the Sullivans, was it the Low Boys? There's like
Boys,
4 or 5 groups, I think. And ultimately they know that you can't really trust Penguin, but they also are like, this is probably the smart play. Don't you think?
Yeah, and again, it's the idea that like the Gigantes and the Marone, they're gonna come and take your shit regardless. So let's team up against it's like what's the devil you know, right? So or the lesser the enemy of my enemy kind of deal. So it does make sense in a way. I thought that was a pretty good speech. Like I that
was a great speech.
I would have jumped in on that too.
Yeah, I like that speech. And then the episode ends with, so Sophia got a little bit of intel from Eve, doesn't kill Eve either, which I thought was pretty significant too, because she's like, I know that she's not the hangman, but if she just went out there and fucking killed her right away, you'd be like, all right, doing the same shit. But she's like, no, she's gonna let her live. And
so she can tell Oz that she told him.
I think, that's all part of the game. And so she lets her live, and she gets the info that she needs, and she finds where those guys are kind of squatting right now, and she walks in on Vic and Oz's mom kind of like dancing around, and she's fucking
got the crowbar in her hand.
Standing there with a crowbar.
Oof.
Of course, it's very significant in the Batman world. That's what Joker killed Jason Todd with. So what do you think happens? What do you think Sophia does with these two?
Well, now you have leverage, right? And it's also the he had now, because they were talking about like how Oz doesn't really have anything he cares about Right. That was like
Correct.
the whole thing. We're talking about his family at the beginning,
I
but now
said
you'll
nothing.
find out he does. He does actually have something to lose.
He's got two. Do you think he likes Vic for real? I think he does.
I think he
But that could be-
does. I think
Yeah.
he'll say he doesn't. At some point, he'll turn heel on him because he'll do anything in his and that would be a great button to put on this thing is if he actually turns on Vic at the end of this whole thing.
Yeah,
And says something to the effect of like, I told you this is how this was going to end.
Yeah, I guess I can't be surprised. I can't be.
He'll apologize for it, but he'll be like, I told you when I met you, the night I met you, that this was going one way. And this is it.
I'm still holding out my theory for Vic is Victor Zsasz, and I was praying after he shot Squid in the neck that when he was feeling sorry for himself, he carved a little 1 into his arm.
Or just like, well, he still, yeah. He just kind of slowly loses his mind, or has to change his name to something like Joe Chill or something.
He's already Vic. He could just be Victor Zsasz. I don't know why they call him Zsasz, but that's what I'm hoping for. But anyway, there's episode 6 of The Penguin. Let us know what you guys thought at Dork Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. You can email us dorkpodcast@gmail.com. If you're watching this live on YouTube right now, first of all, thank you. And second of all, you can jump over to our other link as the night is young, as we have another episode to go. We're going to review the latest box office flop, Venom, The Last Dance. So we will do that because we do every comic book movie. At some point, there's going to be a comic book movie that we just don't do. And that's going to be a major story for everybody involved. But we've done them all. I think since 2015
every
or
single one.
I think we've done them all.
And we've had the conversation every time. We're like, should we do this? I'm like, we have to.
We doing this? Yeah, because they're either really good or really bad for the most part recently. And then like, yeah, you might as well. So anyway,
we haven't had any good ones in a while. Yeah.
So yeah, spoiler, right. We have not gotten any good ones in a while. So we'll talk to you over there. Davey, promise me a million times you'll never do another rule.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to promise you that.
All right.